Hey, what's up guys? This is Dan, and it's been a while. I haven't made a computer video in months, maybe years. And if you've seen any of my others, I used to make laptop reviews. I talked about my old SLI build with two 1080 Ti's and a few other things. And I've had a strong build, but recently I've made some changes and I want to discuss them while it's still relevant. So check it out. And yes, by the way, I'm a huge Lego fan. I'm a grown-ass nerd, but listen, it was part of my childhood and brings me a lot of pleasure and fun to build it and collect them. So I got something cool going on in my man cave up here. So, geez, where do I even start? It's almost hard to film this with the Thermaltake Core P3 case. It's so glossy with the smoked glass. The reflection's crazy. It's almost hard to film. Oh man, where do I start? I love this. I love this case. The thermals may not be the greatest. Ironically, Thermaltake case, not the best thermals, but beautiful case. I've always liked this case when it came out, and I had this NZXT H700. I think it's an I. But also a beautiful case. This case treated me very well. I had no issues with it. It came pre-installed with cam and the control modules. But I wanted to change it up. So if you watched any of my other videos, most of my stuff's the same, or some of it. I had the X299 EVGA black, or dark, excuse me, motherboard. And that motherboard's an absolute beast. It's got the VRM heatsink up top. It's got the fans. It's got so many different features that aren't coming to mind, but if you look it up, you'll understand why a lot of people use it. It's got a lot of overclocking potential. It's just a strong, well-built motherboard. I've been using it for years. I didn't feel a need to replace that. And I also bought a 9900X Intel processor. So that's 10 core, 20 thread. It's currently overclocked to 4.7 gigahertz. And that's running steady at, let me pull it up here, 1.279 volts. So I think that's pretty good. I'm below 1.3 and it's running at a steady 4.7 gigahertz. Temps under full load gaming, and in a case like this, remember, cases like this don't have the best airflow because nothing's blowing through it. It still won't exceed like 70, 75 degrees Celsius, and I don't think that's bad whatsoever. So I kept the motherboard. I kept the processor, obviously. I kept the all-in-one water cooler. I love this water cooler. I think it's just a classy, neat design. And then I was like, all right, I want a new GPU. So what happened was I had the two 1080 Ti's and SLI. And if you watch my other video, I discuss how it had a lot of potential. The 1080 Ti by itself is still an amazing beast of a card. And two of them combined with 22 gigs of VRAM, if you have a game that supports SLI, that machine cranked. Like, I was playing Witcher 3, Battlefield 5, all the big AAA titles a couple years ago, full maxed out, 4K, just pinged at 60 FPS, which is not dip. I mean, it was a very powerful SLI build, but not all games were like that. After Battlefield got updated, I was having issues. World of Warcraft one day, I would have super strong FPS with my resolution scale maxed. So I was playing like 5K or 8K, something ridiculous. So one day my second card just stopped working. And it wasn't physically an issue with the card. It just like the game stopped supporting it out of nowhere. And it was so buggy sometimes. I got tired of it. So I knew I wanted a beautiful RTX 3080. As you guys know, complete bitch to get. I've sat on every website for the past 2 weeks, refreshing, spamming, sitting in Discord. And no, I wasn't able to order one. So what happened was these dropped. I could not get them. I saw how crazy everybody was going. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy a 2080 Ti. Screw it. So I found one for cheap. I found an EVGA XC Ultra for $550 the guy sold it to me for. I think that's a great price, especially now for an 11 gig card. and it's still an amazing card. So I had it in here for a few weeks, and I just sold it the other day for $650. So I actually came up. Now the reason people are still buying these is because a lot of people went nuts for the 3080 and sold their card before the card before they even got their hands on the 3080. Not the best call because they realized the hard way they're not gonna have a GPU for a while. So now a lot of people that sold theirs for cheap are buying them back for more money. This is how crazy the computer world is right now. So long story short, I had a small come up on that. I bought the 3080. Did I pay? Yeah, I paid a premium, and I don't want to say I paid scalper prices, because in my mind, scalper prices currently these cards are going for like 13 to 1500, and people are paying 1500 for them. That's a lot of money. I paid 1100 bucks. Am I happy to say it? No. But when I think about it, after I would purchase this card, pay tax, shipping, whatever, or if I'd probably buy a AIB card, like an aftermarket one, and they're a little more expensive, 750, 800 bucks. I'd pay tax, shipping. Before you know it, you're at 850, 900 bucks. So I made a few more bucks off my other card. I bought this. At that point, the difference is so minimal. I justified it in my mind, and now I don't have to go crazy. I get the peace of mind. So I did pay the premium. You know, it could have been more. Am I excited about it? No, but that's the type of person I am. I wish I had more patience. So I bought the 3080, and I met the guy at Micro Center, and I was like, you know what? If I'm here, let me check out the cases. And they had this case. I always loved it. I was like, oh, I gotta get this thing. So I bought it. I bought new Cooler Master fans, Cooler Master Pro RGB fans, and they're lovely. I think they look sick. And I've always had basic Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM. And then I finally changed it over to 3200 megahertz Pro RGB RAM. So no real speed increase, but sold the old ones, got some money back, and I just love the look. I think it just looks super clean. Love the case. Airflow is not the best, but the whole setup just works really well. I think it looks really classy, and especially with this card on display. It's not an overabundance of RGB. I think it's just the perfect overall amount. I can get more into depth with benchmarks, all that. I'm sure you guys have seen a million videos. All I could say is with this setup, with the overclock, like I said, the CPU, like rarely, if I'm playing maxed out Battlefield 5, it'll hover in the high 60s and it really won't break 70C, but every now and then it'll ping, it'll hit like mid 70s, but that's like something really intensive. And then the GPU hasn't broken 80C. I think I hit like 78 degrees Celsius, which seems a little on the higher end, but once again, I have a case with zero airflow, so that's kind of expected. And let's be honest, that's really not even hot. I mean, if you have a laptop, you know what hot is. If you see my other videos, I've had 2070s in laptops or 1080s or 1070s, and they were hitting 95 degrees Celsius, and the CPU was hitting 98 degrees Celsius. Insane numbers. So this is the new build. I just wanted to showcase it. If you guys got any questions, let me know. I do see a big increase in this card over the 2080 Ti as expected. Do I want to say it's night and day? Not necessarily. The 2080 Ti is still a great card, so is the 1080 Ti, but it is at least a 15% increase. I notice it in all my games across the board. And right now, I have this Acer Predator. This is 1440p, 100 hertz or 120 hertz if you go see it. And I'm probably going to want to get 4K, go back to 4K now that I have this. I think I could definitely utilize the resolution. Is it going to really hit max refresh rates? No, especially with all the eye candy I want, but I'm going to try it out. So unfortunately, I did not showcase much. This really isn't a benchmark video. This is just to show you guys how it's changed since I haven't made a PC video in a while. But if you got any questions, feel free to ask. I love this case. I think looks awesome. It's super clean. A little tricky to put together. You got to read the instructions, but really not a lot of wiring at all. Straightforward. Comes with the vertical GPU mount, obviously. Just super clean looking, super classy, and that's really it. Everything else looks good. The fans, I love them. The cooler's been great. The motherboard, I can't vouch enough for this motherboard. It's one of the top motherboards reviewed, rated, just out there. And I love the 3080. The design is just extremely classy, extremely beautiful. It's got like that sideways hourglass, and if you look closely, that X actually illuminates, which gives it a nice subtle look. And card cranks, gets a little hotter. I mean, I'm sure it gets a little toastier than an AIB card with 3 big fans and a big heatsink. But if you're not over 85 degrees Celsius on your GPU like all the time, you're going to be fine, so who cares? And it does have a little coil line, but keep in mind it's a wide open case, so I'm going to hear a lot more. Maybe that's why I'm noticing it, but I do notice some coil whine. People always make videos about it. It's normal. It's just, I've seen it happen on so many cards. None of them blew up. Don't worry about it. I mean, if the thing's really screaming like a steaming kettle, then you may have a problem, but they're all going to make some noise, most likely. So that's really it. Let me know what you guys think. Take care.